So we took a random sample of 30 Eastview 10th through 12th grade study hall students, 7th hour study hall students, and asked them
How many hours of sleep on average do you get?
7.
7? Okay. How many hours of sleep do you get on average?
Probably like 7.
And how many hours of sleep do you get a night? Probably 6.
to randomly sample these students. We randomly selected the first one and then counted every 5. Some of the challenges we faced were that we could only sample 10th through 12th grade 7th hour study hall students, which means that we didn't get any freshmen and people could be gone because it's of an independent study hall.
So the claimed number of hours per night on average is about 7 hours of sleep, and we wanted to test whether or not this claim is true. To test this claim, we conducted a one-sample t-test at the 5% significance level to see if the true mean hours of sleep is different than 7 hours.
For our parameter, we have mu equals the true mean number hours of sleep for 10th through 12th grade students.
Our hypothesis for the test was that HO, the true mean, is 7 hours of sleep, and HA, the true mean, is not 7 hours of sleep.
To test for independence, we use the 10% condition, which is n is less than or equal to 10% of the population. In this case, 30 is less than 10% of all 10th through 12th grade students at Eastview. To test for normality, we use the central limit theorem, which is n is greater than or equal to 30. Our sample size is 30, so it passes the central limit theorem. And lastly, the sample was selected randomly.
The name of our test is a one-sample t-test with an alpha of 0.05 and degrees of freedom of 29.
The formula for a standard test statistic is the statistic minus the parameter over the standard error of the statistic, which ends up being 6.5 minus 7 over 1.2 divided by the square root of 30. This ends up equaling negative 2.28.
Since our HA predicted that the mean sleep hours is not equal to 7, our t-test becomes two-tailed, multiplying our p-value by 2. To find the p-value, we plugged our values into the calculator, which gave us our p-value of 0.015. Then multiplying it by 2 gave us a p-value of 0.03.
We reject the null because p equals 0.03, which is less than 0.05.
Assuming the null hypothesis is true, the probability of getting positive or negative 2.28 or more extreme is 0.03, which is less than 0.05, so we reject the null, having convincing evidence that 10th through 12th study hall students get more or less than 7 hours of sleep per night.
After doing our test, we drew the conclusion that most 10th through 12th grade students get either more or less than 7 hours of sleep. Because we only took our sample from only 10th through 12th grade students, we can only generalize our results to those students. Some of the confounding variables that could be present are that the students in 7th hour study hall are still here because of tardies, detentions, or bad grades, and this could impact how much sleep they get.
Another confounding variable is that the number of hours of sleep are estimates and not actual values. This could have impacted the number of hours reported by students and our math. To control this, we ask the averages rather than exact numbers to estimate hours of sleep by students. There isn't a whole lot we can do to control some of these variables, but we understand they could impact our results, but we also don't think they had a huge impact.
Something you could do to further your research is to take a larger sample and also include 9th graders. This will give you more information about all high school students rather than just 10th through 12th graders. You can also sample other schools to get even more data, maybe about our district rather than just Eastview High School. If you're curious about the average amount of sleep is less than or greater than 7 hours, you could conduct a test where the mu is less than 7 rather than not equal to 7.